That movie is a shit show. What you think you see, what you think you hear, that's what it's about. It's all theater of the mind. No, it's garbage. It's garbage. Mood and atmosphere. Now that I really like. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to see.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's happening? I'm back. Back again. It was a live stream last night, a live stream tonight. The date today is Wednesday, July the 6th, 2022, 8:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But my guests today are in the past. They are in the past on the Pacific Coast in California. It's only about 5:03 p.m. Pacific time for the Californians out on the West Coast. I have James Grimm and Naked. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I have James Grimm and Jason Voorhees himself. Chad, I forget your last name. What's your last name, Chad? He can't speak. You see, he can't speak because he's in character.
He doesn't like when I do this, though. He doesn't like when I grab
his ball. Oh, yeah. I got that. Yeah. There he is. I love it. I love it. Oh. I was just going to say, you got to turn it the right way. It's not going to be like that clip from like Friday the 13th part. Is it 5 or is it part 2? I think there's one in
2. The dude's hanging upside down?
Yes. Yeah. See, we've learned, ladies and gentlemen. We've learned. Amazing. So Chad, I love it. I love that he's like gone all method and he's in costume and everything. It's great. Awesome. Look at that. It's great. You look great, man. Looks awesome. I like the mask and everything. Saying hello to the world out there. Of course, James Grimm has got a Friday the 13th fan film, which is, we'll talk about it. I think it's done. He's got a post-production Indiegogo campaign, for post-production. I'm going to put I will put the link to the, campaign in the, I'll probably pin it after the show is done, but also I will put it into the chat room here in a second. So this is the name of his Friday the 13th fan film is My Special Boy. And there's a trailer on James's YouTube page. There's a trailer on the Indiegogo page. You should check it out. It looks good. And he's obviously trying to raise some funds for post-production. Making a movie is not cheap. So that's what he's trying to do. But he's only got it says here on my end, 7 days left. But so let's say about a week left. He's 77%. He's got 70% of the funds that he needs. So he's almost there. It's entirely possible we might be able to help him push him over the edge. So if this is something you're interested in, or maybe you've totally forgot about it, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot fucking My Special Boy. Totally forgot about that. Fuck, dude, I got to get on that. Fuck. Now's your chance. You got 7 days left. You can pick up a Blu-ray. You could do whatever. I don't know what the hell are the perks down here. You got a voice message from Pamela Voorhees. You got digital download pack. You got original soundtrack. You got 11x17 poster. You got 11x17, another 11x17 poster. Hockey mask T-shirt. It's all there. Retro poster. 24x36 official poster. And the design is Creepy Duck Designs. I'm telling you, you got to get on this stuff. Looks good stuff. Looks good. Look, high energy cocaine. It's all the cocaine.
I need some, man.
You need some. But I will put the link. Every little bit helps. Even a donation. If you just want to throw, you know what? I don't have a lot right now, but here's like $5, man. Hey, it helps. It all goes towards it. Every little bit helps. So let me put the link to his Indiegogo campaign there into the chat room. And if it's something you're interested in, check it out. Sorry, James. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, we also offer signed posters with Tom Matthews' signature on it, because Tommy Jarvis himself is a producer on the project.
There you go. Tom Matthews, Tommy Jarvis himself is obviously from Friday the 13th Part 6. Jason Lives is a producer on the movie. So you could even pick up a signed poster with Tommy. I was going to say Tommy Matthews. Well, hell, why not? Combining the two with Tom Matthews' signature on it, which is pretty darn cool as well. So James, how you doing?
Good. A long day at work. Went and got this guy, and now we're here in front of you. And
I love it. I love it. He's in character. We'll see how long he stays in character. It kind of reminds me of when Jason Voorhees appeared on Arsenio Hall. Have you seen that clip?
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, was that Kane Hodder? I don't think it was. Was it? It was Kane Hodder? Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I love that clip. It's great. He didn't say a fucking word.
He didn't say anything. He stole the show. It was great.
100%. I think that was that for the press tour of the final. Manhattan. Yeah. I think it was Arsenio Hall. Remember that, kids? I remember it. Anyway, I was like 10, but I remember it. Okay, so James, you have your own YouTube channel.
Yes, sir. You
talk horror. You've been in the space for a while. And you got a lot of good content over there. You even did a review for It's Me, Billy, which was awesome. And, I really appreciate that, of course, which is great. You did a deep dive into it.
The greatest fan film, unfan film. It's like the most fan film ever made. And that's just my opinion. But and I'm not just saying that to blow smoke up your ass because you have me on your show. I've said this numerous times and I believe that.
I really appreciate that. I mean, I can feel some smoke right now in my rectal cavity, but it's okay. It's all right. I mean, I'm just teasing you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that very much. But you did that. You did like a 25-minute deep dive. I was like, this is great. It was really good. You were really good with your thoughts, and I really appreciate that, of course. So, like I said, you got your own channel. You're talking horror. You were dabbling in the Halloween fan film kind of space a few years ago, and trying to kind of test your skills. And I think you even admitted. I think I saw somewhere where you said, "Hey, listen, I'm not a filmmaker. I didn't go to film school." I don't think you did, right? I don't think you did. You're sort of self-taught.
No.
Yeah, exactly. But you love movies, you love watching movies, you love horror movies, and you wanted to dabble in it and kind of test your skills and things like that. So tell us what got you into doing that?
It was 2019. Or wait a minute, it was 2018. I might be wrong now. I think it was 2018 that me and my buddy wanted to just, take a couple of us and chill and make a film together, not take anything seriously, take my Samsung Galaxy S7 and just go out and film something just for shits and giggles. And, we were both like, oh, this is really fun. Let's do it again. So we were like, so a year went by, we decided to come out with something called Halloween, the Devil's Autumn. And it's like a nearly hour-long film that, it has no need to be that long in time. It's ridiculous. But it was a lot of fun. I met Chad Sumner.
Chad, what's his last name again? Sumner? Sumner. Okay, well, that's fine. It's fine. Chad Sumner, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Voorhees, Chad Sumner, ladies and gentlemen.
This guy right here.
Right there.
I met him. He helped out with some scouting locations and everything, which was really good. And we had a lot of fun. It was just a lot of cold nights and it was super fun. But we were like, dude, let's do Friday the 13th. The first time I ever met him in person, he wanted to play Jason Voorhees, and we had known each other for years because we were in a fantasy football league together, and we never actually met one time. And we finally meet doing Halloween, the Devil's Autumn, which his character wasn't even written. It was kind of like on the spot. It was
right.
We added him, and he was great. And he played like 3 different characters. It was awesome, all in which die. So. And it was super fun. It was fun, and we were like, hey, let's hit up Friday the 13th. You wanted to be Jason, let's do it. So March 13th of 2020 happened, and we went to Walmart. We grabbed some coveralls, a shirt, put the sack head on him, and got them all in the cover or the bib overalls, and we're like, let's do this. Looking back at it, it's kind of embarrassing, but it's okay. That's the evolution of filmmaking.
That's it.
And then I think a couple months later, we ended up getting a couple additional filmmakers onto the project who had done this in the past. So they had experience where we didn't. And, I think the project started to elevate from there. And we, the project started to grow and grow and grow. And then it started to just shift a little bit. It was originally going to be a Sackhead Jason film. And I always promoted it as being that. But then we're like, a couple of good points were made during little production meetings. What if we had Sackhead for this much of the movie, and then we had a payoff for the other half of the movie where we get introduced to this version of Jason, our version of Jason, and I loved it. Unfortunately, well, before I go into that, Michael Lawrence, who is a very talented artist. He makes Chucky dolls. He makes the design of the hockey masks, the look of Jason underneath the hockey mask. He was the concept artist for the overall look of the attire. He'd already started something, so I was like, well, we're not going to put this to waste. You know, he did all that time, you know, spent all that time making this for us. Let's go ahead and go with it. And then we didn't make the budget we needed to make a feature film. So we didn't make anything near close to make a feature film that would have
been happens. It's tough. It's tough to raise money.
It is. It really is. And then we were like, well, Braden Timmons, who did the screenwriting for mine and Chad's script, he's like, you know, to be honest, I don't think it's a good idea to split up the Sackhead and the hockey mask Jason because of how short the film is. It might be a little jarring to the viewer. Let's go with one look. So it was kind of tossed in the air, and in the end, we went this route. But that doesn't mean Sackhead Jason will not be featured in the film. It just is not as heavily featured. So
maybe you'll do like a reversal. Like maybe if your movie gets some good traction and a lot of people like it, maybe you do a sequel and all of a sudden Sackhead. Maybe it's like a reversal, you know? Yeah.
I have a roadmap kind of planned out, a prequel that I already kind of created, and then a sequel. Now, I'm not saying these things are going to happen, but if the time comes, you know, if people think that this film is good, you know, I think that success is measured differently by each individual, and I think that, you know, I think if the thumbs ups are there, the demand is there, the views are there, and people say, hey, that sucks that I didn't have the opportunity to put money into your film because I've seen the things you did in the past and I just didn't have enough trust in you in the process. So now that I see that you're doing this and I see the quality of film that this is, I want to see more from you, James. I want to see more from you, Chad, Braden, you know, Don Murphy, Michael Lawrence, like the whole team.
Right.
Then let's do it.
Amazing. So, you know, so you started with, you know, the Halloween sort of thing. And then you thought to yourself, you know what, I really kind of want to take it up a notch. You know, I want to kind of test my skills. I've met Chad. I met these great people. We're talking, we're, you know, exchanging ideas. Why not do Friday the 13th? One of the things that I will say that I have taken notice is I do hope that I will say personally that I liked the angle. Now, again, I'm not a Friday the 13th aficionado and, you know, or huge expert or anything, but I did like the angle that you took with the Sackhead because it is a Jason that we don't really see a lot in certainly not in, you know, I mean, he's in one movie officially. And then of course you don't really see him in any sort of Friday the 13th fan film. So if you can weave him in there, maybe in a follow-up or a prequel or whatever, I think that's sort of an element to your series or you know, whatever that is that could be quite different than others. Now, the mask I've also noticed is with the markings on the mask, you also have a little bit of a different vibe going there. Tell me about that.
So the mask originally was similar to that of a Part 5 mask. Now, do you recall the 8-disc collection where it has Jason Voorhees on the front cover? It's a Part 5 mask, but the chevrons are red.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had someone who was going to do that mask, but they were going to angle off the chevron so that they do like this, but then they come out here, but it was more of a thick rather than a thin kind of, you know, lightning bolt, if you will. And you know, that didn't work out, unfortunately. Well, Michael Lawrence said, hey, I'll draw up a bunch of different designs for you. You know, tell me what you guys think. So he had a list, like a paper of all these different designs, and we all kind of gravitated towards that. And the lightning bolts, which it's funny because I didn't even find out this until recently, is that those lightning bolts are actually from his high school. Like it's a high school logo that they used for their sports teams. So I just found that out recently. But regardless, I think it looks different, unique, and I like the way it looks. Like I get I get some people who say, why didn't you go with the 3 chevrons? Like this isn't Jason. And it's like, why do we have to do what's already been done? Let's do something new, you know? Like
Vincent DeSanti's gone with no chevrons. So I mean, you know, it's still, you know, I can still tell it's Jason. I mean, I can tell it's Jason who's sitting, you know, beside you right now. It's not like I'm going, what, who, I think what it is, I think just people are, again, it is a staple of The Mask, right? It's immediately identifiable, and people kind of pick up on that. I get that, I do, I understand, but you put your own stamp on it, and no pun intended. But I think it looks good. I think it looks good. So tell me about the process of making this movie. This is a giant leap forward for you. In terms from where you came from with The Devil's Autumn. I think I'm saying that right. I think that's the name. And now you're making My Special Boy. It's been a longer process, a more involved process. I wasn't a part of it, so I have no idea what sort of things you went through or anything like that. But I can imagine that you started to go through more of the filmmaking process in terms of, development, pre-production, production, post, than you did, so there's more people involved. There's more things happening. Tell us about that. Tell us how that process was for everybody.
Sure, and let me know if I've been speaking up really loudly, just if I'm too loud or whatnot.
You seem fine on my levels, so.
All right, so here's I'm going to share a story with you, and it's all about learning what to do and what not to do moving forward. And I think this is going to help me grow and be a better filmmaker, and I think overall the team. So we created an Indiegogo campaign October of 2020. We had the Sackhead trailer debut. We had Mother here and everything, and I had the whole. Sorry, sir. We had the whole thing. We made, I think, $8,000, I think, which was not our not close to what we wanted. And even I think we set up a pretty high standard, a high goal for what we wanted to make this film just so much. Exactly. It was just a bad idea, bad decision. But we took that $8,000 and we said, hey, you know what? Let's take this $8,000. Let's film a fucking really good. Can I use language?
Of course. Can use language. Have you watched my channel?
I do. I just didn't know if it was inappropriate, but no. So
that was a family show, James. Calm the fuck down, okay?
Oh, the fuck. Okay, gotcha. So $8,000 later, we go to film in January a trailer, a 2-minute trailer. Maybe was it 2.5 minutes, something like that. And and we said, you know what? Let's make a baddest trailer you can get, $8,000, and let's see if this trailer can get 20,000. Let's see, let's put all of our chips in and let's go all in and let's see if it's possible. So we did that. Well, we made less on that campaign than we did on the previous one. And we said, oh, wow, that's a stupid ass decision. So we said, you know what? Let's do one more campaign. Let's see if we can make some funds so we can definitely get this thing going. Well, we made $1,000 on that campaign, substantially less, thousands of dollars less. And then we had the sad face.
I'm just teasing you.
No. I deserve it.
No, you don't deserve it. What are you talking about? Go on.
Lessons. It's life lessons. And I'm glad I learned it because it's something I'll never do again. But so we made less money on the third campaign, $1,000. We had to refund back $1,000. So now we're sitting here with $7,000 in my bank, and I'm like, how are we going to do this? So we filmed. So November comes, we're like, we're going to film as much as we can. We rented a location at a state park lake. That costed us $3,000+ just to be able to film there. And then, making sure you can get all your cast and crew lodged and fed and everything else. It gets very expensive. So day one, we actually ran out of funds day one back in November.
That's not good.
And we had a 5-day shoot.
That's not good. That's not good. Did you break it down? Did you have a production budget where you broke it down on a spreadsheet so you'd know what you needed?
Oh yeah. Everything was pretty mapped out. I don't know how deep spreadsheet it was, but it was pretty mapped out. But based on, there was additional funds because we were supposed to. I don't want to get into certain aspects of it.
Oh, I understand. Certain things are private. I get it.
Yeah, things kind of broke down in some areas and avenues, and obviously we were able to film the 5 days. The funds came from somewhere, whether it be out of pocket, it happened. We did it. By the end of day 5, it was 6 a.m., 5:30 a.m. And we're like, guys, we did it. We went through this journey. It's been hell, and we're here. And now let's release this film. Let's go to the editing room and let's get this thing handled. So a couple weeks later, me and Cole Edits, him and I are looking at the ending, and we're like, dude, we can't release this movie with this ending. The rest of this movie is pretty cool, but this ending, this is dog shit. Like this if we release this, no one's going to ever trust us in filmmaking ever again.
Now, without giving anything away,
Yeah.
what was it about the ending that you were like, oh, geez, can you get, like, was it just, was it not impactful enough? Was it not shot the way you wanted it to? Wasn't part of the vision? What was it about it that just didn't sit right with you?
I think us filming 76 hours worth in 5 days kind of really, I think we started to just kind of, things started to blur at moments. And in the final 2 nights, we were there till 4 a.m. And then, next day they're back at 7 a.m. because I wasn't there because I had to get my daughter to school. And then I come to set later on afterwards. It was just that it wasn't shot right. It didn't look right. It didn't have any emotion in it. It had no heart. It had no substance. And the rest of the film like hits on all cylinders. But then you get to the ending and you're like, this is the shittiest payoff I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
I'd rather see Jason in a tunnel getting swept away by the water. It's terrible. So we said, you know what? Let's go back to camera in April. Let's have a 3-day shoot, and let's get this thing going. So we all kind of wrapped up. We got funds together. We kind of threw some things in there, and we made it work. And this ending is much better. And on top of that, we are able to add in additional scenes that make the rest of some of the film make more sense. So we spent a lot more hours filming for those last couple of days. And the last night we didn't end filming until at least
3 a.m.
Yeah, I trust him.
Well, he's a hell of a guy to trust. I mean, he's the one in the mask. He's the one in the mask.
So we filmed this movie in I think it was like 100 hours, a little over 100 hours. Once back in November and then April, and now we just watched a cut of the film the other day. It's at 1 hour and 3 minutes in length. Of course, there are things we need to add. Some things we're going to take out. So definitely we're going to hit over 1 hour. So
very cool. So what are some of the takeaways from this experience? I know it's not, the experience won't be completely done until, the movie is released and you got the perks out there and all that kind of stuff. But what are some of the takeaways that you're, maybe some things that you didn't realize about the process?
I think that if you believe in your vision so much, you should never let it get taken away or allow anyone to put their hand in the pot in the kitchen. I think learning to assemble a team that has your has the good intentions all around, like my buddy Jason here, yeah. I think I've been able to I've been blessed enough to have a really great cinematographer in Don Murphy, a great actor in Jason here. Chad, he's not he's on the screen unmasked and masked in the film.
Okay,
I mentioned
cool.
This one other time. His little cameo. Having a great composer in Frank Dormani. He's an award winner. Having Cole Tatham, aka Cole Edits. Just assembling the team that says, hey, I want your vision to come to life, and I don't want to take anything from you. I'm just here to help. And I think those are very important things, and I have those people, and I have these people who want to work with me for the next project, which might be this untitled Halloween film that I can't share too much about, but this guy's attached and Cole's attached and Frank Dormani's back, and I have an original project I want to start working on, and I have a really good talented screenwriter for that as well. His name is Tyler Acoin. And I think what's great also, I just want to take a kind of sidestep this. What's great about My Special Boy, in my opinion, now I'm a little biased, but we were essentially able to get Hollywood actors and actresses, or actors and actresses who want to be that. They strive to be this. And every one of our actors and actresses, they just knock it out of the park. I mean, it's, I know that Friday the 13th is not really big on its acting. So when it comes to My Special Boy, in comparison, our actors and actresses make the rest kind of look not so good.
Yeah, no, I get it. Look, I do. I think, it's important for anybody who is looking to raise funds for, it doesn't matter what you're raising funds for, but in this case, we're talking about films. One of the pieces of advice that I always give people is that when you are, and again, it depends on your reach, and it depends on how many people follow you. Yes, obviously that helps. But the work really begins when the Indiegogo campaign goes up. That's when the work really begins. I think there's a lot of people who put so much time and so much effort into their campaign or into their, visuals and titles and graphics and maybe a little teaser trailer, which is great. And all that is important. And then they put up the campaign and you don't hear from them again. They just kind of put it up and they expect that people are just going to find it somehow. It's just going to, that's when the real job begins. It's a full-time, it's almost a full-time job in sales. You have to sell yourself, because in a lot of ways, one of the big things for us with It's Me, Billy, when, we wanted to do that. I mean, it's a Black Christmas fan film, right? It's the low hanging fruit. I mean, it's not the low hanging fruit is what I'm saying. Like, it's not, we needed people to believe in us first, because it's not Halloween. It's not Friday the 13th, not Elm Street. We could have made $64,000 in our sleep. We could have put that up. The next day we would have had it. But so the real test is selling it, making your audience believe that I'm the right person for this job. And it's easier said than done. But I have seen a lot of Indiegogo campaigns in the past. I won't name them, but I've seen a lot of them where they put a lot of work into it and the campaign looks good. It does. It looks good. Looks solid, professional, good little trailer or, an introduction thing saying, hey, I'm so-and-so. It looks good. Everything looks good. And then silence. You don't hear a word from them. And, the days turn into weeks and the weeks turn into 2 months and they've raised like $10. And you're like, well, where were you? What's like, you got to get it out there. You got to talk about it. You got to do videos on it. You got to share it. You got to pump it out there. Right. So, I obviously we follow each other and we're subscribed to each other. And I do see you doing that, which is good. And that's what you need to do. Because people are not thinking about it day in and day out like you are. You know what I mean? You're thinking about it every single day. Every single day I'm thinking about it. You're deep into it. You're involved with it. You're working on this. You're making those phone calls. You're emailing, Chad. You're emailing, Braden. You're talking to him. The public isn't doing that. They're not thinking about you every day. They're not thinking about me every day. Well, maybe they are. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? So they need they need that reminder. And so that's why, you always say, hey, campaign is up. For the next 2 months, I'm going to be a real annoying son of a bitch. For the next 2 months, you're going to see a lot of posts about this project, just warning you. But how else are you supposed to? You're not backed by a studio. You got to raise these funds. You got to put the reminders out there, right? So I get it. And I just want to say that I have seen you do that, which is good. And of course I follow Braden as well, and I'll see him post something too about it, which is good. You got to kind of keep it out there. So that I have seen. So when it comes to, sorry, go ahead if you have anything to say.
No, trying.
Trying. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, look, it's a process, right? I mean, it's a learning experience, to be able to, I mean, I'm not saying, you're doing it every single day, but certainly it's something to keep in mind, for yourself, for your team, for everybody out there. You kind of do have to be a little bit annoying. That doesn't mean that you're going to raise the funds that you need. But it is, and it's not about, yelling and screaming every day. It's about having really good marketing material, really good, it's doing it in a way that is, tactful and not overly intrusive. You don't want to be intrusive to your followers or to your fans. You just kind of want to always be there. Always be there. You're always on the peripheral, because the second you just go, you fade off, they don't think about it. You might be thinking about it every day, and you might be checking how much do I got every day, how much, but they're not thinking about it. They don't care. They don't know. Out of sight, out of mind. Right.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
It's your responsibility. It's your duty. Not everyone else needs to think about it. So so I've been annoying, and I know I've been, but I gotta be annoying for 6 more days, and then. Then I'll chill a little bit. You got to be the most annoying in these last 6 days is what you have to be. The most annoying you've ever been in these last 6 days. No, I get it. I totally get it. So Friday the 13th. Oh, by the way, I'm going to put the link to the campaign back in the chat room here. So again, folks, if you want to help
get James at least over the 80% mark. James is currently, again, he's currently at
78%, I think.
78% now. Yeah, 78%. So I just saw.
I will say now, anyone who backs this film, you'll get a credit, a special thank you in the end of the movie, but you will also get a thank you on IMDb.
There you go. There you go. You'll also get an you have your very own IMDb Internet Movie Database credit. So yes, you're sitting at 78%. Maybe the show today will help you get over the 80% mark, and you can start working towards 85. But I'll be honest with you, not that we shouldn't get you to 100%. You want to get to 100%. But even 78, 80% is really good. Is really good. There's a lot of people that don't even, before we launched the Billy campaign, I was doing a lot of research, and I was reading up on Indiegogo and things like that. And obviously it would depend on how much you're asking for, obviously. But statistics show that most people, a large portion, the majority, who run an Indiegogo campaign for whatever reason, I don't know, you got this new technology that you're trying to raise funds for, a movie, a book, whatever, don't meet their goals. It's just the way it is. It's very difficult to raise money and get people excited about your product, because sometimes it's like, as I said, it's not just the product, it's you, right? It's your, as John Candy says in Planes, Trades, and Automobiles, I'm the real article. What you see is what you get. You're the seller. People want to need to buy into you, and then you got to make them believe they care. I mean, that's what it is. So yeah, 78%. Let's see if we can get you over 80, man. That would be cool. Who the hell is this guy?
I don't know. Who is this guy?
I have no idea. He just kind of walked in, and what the hell happened to Jason? I don't know. Good to see you, Chad.
What's up, Dave? How's it going?
Cheers. Not much. Doing pretty good. Let me put that link in the chat room. Here we go. There it is. Again, folks, even if you want to donate like $5 or something or whatever, I mean, heck, every little bit helps, as they say. Every little bit helps.
Everything.
So between the two of you there, who's I kind of think I know the answer to this, but who's the big Friday the 13th guy? Big fan of Friday the 13th. Is that Chad?
I'm a Halloween guy, which I get shit for, because they're like a Halloween guy doing Friday the 13th. Well, I do love the franchise a lot too, but I think he takes the reins as the guy.
Okay. So Chad, why Friday the 13th? What is it about Friday the 13th over others that, that gets you excited?
Without trying to be too punny, they're a little bit more campy.
Have
some more fun with it. Halloween, I think, is a lot more serious in tone, where Friday isn't. Like, yeah, they try to put in some dark moments here and there, but overall it's pretty campy, and it's like, okay, why not? So we can have fun with it, but also be serious, and Jason, plus people relate to Jason for being the outcast, and that's that might sound cliche, but it's very true, because everyone's an outcast. Even if you were popular in high school, you were still an outcast in some way. So everyone can relate to that. Right.
I gotcha. Interesting. And when did you get into it? What was your first experience with Friday the 13th? Why? Like, again, was it the first thing you saw and you have a real nostalgic connection to it?
No, it wasn't the first thing I saw. I think the first Jason I saw was Jason Lives, Part 6. And I was very young. I had an uncle who just loves horror. He would just look. There were times where he was at the end, final days of his job, and he would just be on the internet looking up like the most goriest, most bonkers shit out there. And so, he introduced me to Chucky, Jason, Michael, zombies. He introduced me to a lot. So. But I connected with Jason because of being the outcast, and always loving his mom, being a mama's boy, but just being very loyal. And at the end of the day, yeah, Jason commits all these horrendous murders, but he's really not. I mean, yes, he's a bad guy, but he's more of like an anti-hero, I guess. You could look at him as an anti-hero, which is very weird because he's hacking up all these kids, but don't trespass.
Yeah. Hey,
Get off my lawn.
it's his property, right? I mean, that's what it is. So for you, Chad, now you play Jason in My Special Boy. So was this your first time playing Jason in this kind of a way? It was your first time. Okay. So what was that experience like for you?
Very fun. There were times where I did get a little nervous because of just like, just going through the motions of being on set and, thinking, oh, well, people are going to tear this scene apart, or, if I do this, or, they're going to tear that movement apart or whatever. So it's like, you want to stay true to the franchise, but also do your own thing. So I got little homages to like Kane and Ted and Richard. Thank you. So there's little things here and there. You might catch the breathing from Kane here and there, the head whips, the running. I run in a few scenes, so that's Ted White, Richard Brooker type territory. So yeah, you'll see a little bit of everything, and then hopefully a little bit of my own take on it.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you have and I'll ask this to both of you, was there like a favorite moment on set that stands out to you? Either something that was funny or something that was a moment you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be awesome. You know what I'm saying?
You can share it.
Yeah, there were a few moments like that. It was very interesting on set, just because some of the things we had to deal with. Up on a hill, there was a house up on a hill, and just like randomly 3 or 4 in the afternoon, they start firing guns. So we'd have to wait for them to stop firing their guns. So we're just like, okay, everyone just take
wait. A house on top of a hill.
Yeah.
Welcome to America, folks. Wait, no, you're in California. You're not in Texas. Hey, man. So just some house on a hill.
Yep.
At 4 a.m. Just somebody
afternoon.
Oh, 4 p.m. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Well, still not that makes it any better, really, but I guess that kind of makes it better. I just randomly shooting gun. Now, was this like a daily occurrence or just happened once?
A couple days, huh?
Really?
Like 2 or 3 days in a row. Yeah.
What do you think it was, like a target practice, or what the hell was going on?
Maybe, but there were bears up there. Me and a castmate, Nui, we were coming back from getting food for everybody. And it's dark, we're driving through the empty camp, and he's like, that's a black bear right there. I'm like, what are you talking about? Right there. We turn a little bit, I flash my lights. Whoa, okay, let's go. Yeah. Are there
I was gonna say, are there grizzlies? There's no grizzlies in California. I forgot about that. There used to be. I think that's why it's on your state flag, if I'm not mistaken. Look at that Canadian knowing a lot about shit. Huh? What does my province's flag look like, guys? What's a province? Anyway, so it's all right, folks. So James, I mean, any crazy funny stories?
You see it. Okay, so you see it in the trailer. Actually, there's a scene where you can see. So in the trailer, you can see a guy getting some barbed wire around his throat.
Okay.
He's taking it really good. Should I tell him?
It's in the trailer.
It's in the trailer.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
So we have our makeup effects artists. They're doing their job on the guy's neck and everything else, and Chad's getting ready. And we have like one take to do this, like to knock this out. And we do. And our effects artists, they knocked it out of the park. They're pumping the blood's just spilling out of the dude's throat. And by the time that we say cut, whether it be me, Braden, or Don, we all watch it back, and we just all go ape shit. We're hopping in the air, hugging each other. We're just like, we fucking got our first kill in the movie. Yeah, it was pretty epic.
It's pretty cool in it. And don't kid yourself. That kind of stuff will happen on Hollywood sets. I mean, just because they're working at the Hollywood level does not mean that when they don't get something that is meant, that they don't go, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. That happened for us on Billy too. We during spoiler alert, but come on, the movie's been out for over a year. If you haven't seen it yet, you ain't no rush. Justine's death scene. So we shot that a few times, and of course we had the camera on the Dana dolly. We're tracking left to right behind the bed, and I I was in the laundry room down the hall around the corner watching it on the monitor, and Bruce was actually in the room. I tend to like to watch things on the monitor because obviously that's, you see it sort of how it's going to look, you get, the frame and everything and how it's going to look when, it's the actual film. It depends on the circumstances. I think Bruce might be either or. I know he was in the room for this, but I was down the hall with Shelby and Victoria, and we were watching on the monitor, I think with our gaffer. And we shot that probably, I don't know, 5 times, maybe something like that. And the last time was just great. Brian just went to town. He's cackling like it's nobody's business, and he's going up and down. And just as Greg brought that camera, and went past the bed board or whatever it is there, and you could see Brian's. It was a happy accident. It actually was not planned. It was just where we had positioned the light out the window. You could see Brian's silhouette on the wall coming up and coming down, coming up and coming down. And it looked great. And it's funny because I should release this anyway, but there's the footage of that. Mm-hmm. I guess Greg had stopped rolling the camera naturally because, I think we said cut, obviously. But before, there's like just a second right before he stops the camera where you hear me down the hall go, yeah! And then it just kind of cuts, you know what I mean? And that's me going, yeah, that looks great. Literally, it sounds like, ah! And it's, and you'd hear me like, what the hell is going on? Somebody just lost their mind but everybody did that. Like there were cheers and everything. Cause again, it's one of those moments where you're like, nailed it. You know what I mean? This is where you got it, So yeah, no, it's always cool. And like I said, don't kid yourself. It happens in Hollywood too. Trust me.
Okay,
when something really cool works and everything just comes together and everything is firing on all cylinders, you can bet your ass there's a few high fives and a few yes, you know what I mean? For sure, especially if it's a really complicated shot or something that, taking a lot of, setup time or you're working really hard on it or whatever. For sure, man. It's a great feeling when it can all come together, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Getting the actor on the ground, getting Chad the barbed wire in his hand, and then wrapping it and trying to like twist it and turn it so that it can actually hit the latex that it's not an adhesive. It's just latex that they were able to build a wall of, and underneath it was just like a bunch of blood. And so Chad's doing this and grinding up, and all of a sudden, like Chad pulls and just blood starts like spilling out, and the dude's over here pumping it. Come on, keep going.
Love it.
I'm just like, and we watched it, and it was just like, it was magic.
It was magic. It's great, isn't it? It's great. That's the kind of thing that you see, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to put that into the timeline. Ah! You know what I mean? For sure. No, I get it. I totally get it. That's awesome. So, now, obviously, we know the title My Special Boy refers to Pamela referring to Jason as her special boy. It's no secret that Pamela is also in this movie. Talk to us about the actors. Talk to us about Pamela. Talk to us about the counselors. Talk to us about that Braden guy, that weird Braden Timmons guy. Talk to us about him.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding, Braden. I'm just kidding.
We won't be, though.
Well, there you go.
I when My Special Boy was created, the name, I always wanted us to go back to camp. You see a lot of Friday fan films not doing that.
Right.
So it's like, well, let's go back and do what they did, like go back to the roots, kind of go to the first few films and get that feeling again. Each filmmaker who makes their Friday film unique, and I appreciate them all, but I wanted to do something different but similar. And
right.
Braden, I was like, dude, this guy looks like a fucking Boy Scout. Like, this guy has to be our leading guy. He needs to be our Captain America. He needs to be our Paul. Oh, Paul.
Paul, I give you no keys, but please my. There you go, folks. Okay.
Thank you.
Go on.
Yeah, he just was like very much like a no offense, Boy Scout. And
Well, it's better than looking like a serial killer.
Yeah, he can look like that too. But
Oh, there you go.
yeah, and then so then Pamela Voorhees, the actress who plays Pamela, she was probably the second actress that we casted, and she was casted in a different role.
What's her name?
Gia Rose.
Gia Rose. Shout out to Gia Rose.
Shout out.
She's awesome.
She is awesome. So yeah, we didn't really envision her too much being on camera versus what Jason hears. Jason hears her, she talks to him, but we didn't really plan it out seeing her too much. And then we decided, hey, let's put her on screen. And so we put her on screen. She was like, hey, I want to look like I'm from the 50s, let's have Jason. This is what Jason remembers me as, someone who's dressed up like they are from the 50s. And all right, let's fucking do it. And she was such a trooper and so willing to do whatever, but also come to the table and bring multiple ideas that made the character, she brought a lot of character development to her when she wasn't really going to have much character outside of a voice. And then in the end, we went back to the writing process, and we gave her a bigger role because of how awesome she was. And we love her, and we love each other, all of us. And she's such a
bring it in, people, bring it in.
Yeah, it's just wonderful to be around, and all the cast and crew, and we have a really big cast. Like we have a very big cast. How many do we have?
Everybody, like 16, 18 people, something like that.
Wow,
Yeah,
16 people in the film?
Give or take, maybe. I'm trying to think of everybody.
Yeah,
wow, that's a lot. That's
like
a big
12 of
cast.
us that had to be on set at one time.
Mhm.
Right, for the majority. So yeah, I'm thinking like 14, 16 people, maybe.
Well, based on the body count, there's definitely there's a lot, dude. It's a body count. The body count is real, and dude. I mean,
well, and only an hour movie. You better get started quick.
but funny because I can't talk about it. Never mind.
It's okay. That's fair.
No, there was a lot of cast members. A lot of them really, really good. A lot of fun times, and I have so much I want to say, but it's just too much.
Well, talk to us about some of the other actors. You know what I mean? Who are some of the other actors you brought on board?
Yeah, Andrew Johnson, Tevin, Andrew Tevin, Victoria, Kate, Nui, this guy, Braden, Abigail, Gia, Christian, Alex.
It's a lot of people.
Sammy. Can't believe she was like the first person we hired on this project.
Yeah, she was.
My Ted, Ranger Rick,
Ranger Rick?
Yeah.
Ranger Rick. Ranger Rick.
Ranger.
I love it. That's definitely a Friday the 13th name, Ranger Rick. I mean, come on, Ranger Rick. The 2 R's. That's great. I love it.
It's Ranger Rick Daniels.
Maybe you should have called him Ranger Ralph. Ranger Ralph. Or maybe his last name is Ralph. So his name is Ranger Rick Ralph.
Yeah. With your experience, because you actually worked on camera with these people, what's your thoughts on them?
I mean, you can tell that they're all trying to make this their career, because they all dove into their characters, every single one of them. They tried to say, hey, what's, this character's friends with this character, and this character's friends with this character. What's their dynamic? How long have they known each other? Did they go to school? All these questions. And every single one of them pretty much asked those questions. So it's like, wow, that's so cool when you have such a committed cast that big and that huge of a cast. It's like, okay, that makes things a lot easier. Because if we had 16 people that were all dicks,
why am I here? Why am I here?
Yeah, that type of shit, it would be just a miserable experience. But they were all cool. We all had a lot of fun on set. A lot of us are friends afterwards, so it's very, very cool. It's very cool.
The dedication, the patience, the dedication, each and every one of them, they were always open and willing to do whatever it took to make the best product that they could. They were all open and willing for anything, everything and anything, or anything and everything. And that's what, they had a lot of heart, a lot of passion, and they just had a lot of love, for what we were doing. and it was like a real team. It was like the first time that I mean I'd worked on film like to this degree, and felt the team kind of players. You know, it was wonderful, and the fact that everyone pulled their weight. Everyone makes me look better than I really am. I'll tell you that.
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, not bad. I'm not complaining.
So, so you said that, and correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I heard earlier you say that you also hired people with experience as well in terms of acting. So that also could play into it. You know, when you hire people who have experience, they generally, you know, will be more committed to the role rather than hiring, you know, your sister or something like that. You know what I mean? Because you need to get people, and you know, I say, mom, you know what I mean, or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So that might have played a role too. I will say I'm pleased to hear that. I'm pleased to hear that the shoot went well, and that everybody was committed, because yeah, I mean, you know, on a fan film and you have 16 people in the cast alone, that might be difficult to get people to stay motivated and committed, especially, you know, if you're shooting, you know, your shooting schedule has to fit around everybody else's schedule. The more people you have, I mean, it's different, obviously, if you're making a Hollywood film, because, you know, they're getting paid well and they're contractually obligated, and you know, it's a whole different thing. But you know, when you're working at that level, and you're trying to get keeping everybody motivated, for you guys would I imagine would have been an area of concern, at least at the beginning. But it sounds like it worked out well.
I would say it was kind of a concern at the beginning. Like, we're like, dude, we're having so many cast members. Like, what are we doing? But you know, I love your performance. I just can't say no to you. Let's do it. You know, and what's cool is that we have that many people, and everyone has their own time to shine. Everyone has their moment. Everyone has their moment.
Yeah.
Not a single person doesn't.
That's really good.
I think that's, you know, that's a shout out to part of the writer here, you know, Braden. He helped out, and you know, can you imagine, Braden's the guy who created the schedules, so that to schedule all those people, you know, the cast and the crew, shout out to him.
Very cool. So is there anything about My Special Boy that you can reveal right here, right now, that has not been, and maybe you can't because you got to check with other people, and I understand that, but I was just wondering if there was any little tidbit of juicy information that you might be able to reveal, some hint, some little thing, some clue that is yet to be revealed. If you cannot, I totally understand. I just thought I would ask the question.
That's a great question, actually. Anything that's not been revealed? Well, the body count that's been revealed. Do you think of anything? Not spoiling anything?
Not really.
Yes, without spoiling anything, of course.
Well, Jason, there's an unmasked moment where everyone gets to see his disfigurement. It's pretty epic. It's pretty nice, you know.
Okay, I'll say this. I won't say who's playing him, but his dad may appear in it. Elias.
The father.
Ooh, no one knows that.
The father.
Yeah.
Ooh, right here, world exclusive, right here.
It's not going to be like CJ Graham, Elias from Vengeance or anything, but he may be in it. Listen,
you just dropped it right here, and you know what? It'll be on Bloody Disgusting tomorrow morning. I mean, that's just the way these things go. It's the way these things go. You know what I mean?
Elias Voorhees does make an appearance. That's
very cool. Very cool. Okay. So before we jump over to the chat room, get ready. If you have any questions for Chad or James, feel free to get them ready now. So what? There's a lot of Friday the 13th fan films out there.
Yeah.
A lot. Not as many as Halloween fan films, mind you. Halloween fan films, I mean, it's you know, oh God, it is. I mean, you can see me.
Yeah,
You know, it's all over the place. The degree of quality is generally all over the place as well. Friday the 13th, I would say, is in the horror space anyway. I would say Friday the 13th is probably next. I would say that it's probably got the next most, and it's probably quite a drop as well. I don't think it comes anywhere near the Halloween fan films. I've seen like 5-year-olds making Halloween fan films. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's all over the place. So bearing in mind that you are now entering into that space, and the competition is fierce. Not that you're doing it for that. I mean, you know, you're doing it for the love of making you know what I'm just saying, right? Like, you know, you got all these fan films, right? Is there something that's, and again, if you can't say, totally understand. Is there something that's different about yours that maybe there's an element to yours that the others do not have, beyond, of course, Sackhead Jason? You know, we know that, but is there something else?
Yeah, I mean, we actually go back to camp. We actually go to Crystal
Oh, that's
Lake.
right. I forgot about
Lake,
that. That's right.
It's renamed Camp Trinity Point. So we have the main protagonist trying to reopen the camp under a different name, to, you know, even though he may know that things around camp aren't. What was that?
No,
It's fucking Jason. He's outside right there.
It's a very simplistic story. We go back to camp. The main character knows that maybe this is not the best idea to do this, and he's bringing his friends, knowing that, hey, we're going to reopen this camp for the kids this summer, but there are people who are going missing. We wanted to just go back to camp, bring the aspects, you know, the first 4, maybe 5 movies, which are my favorite ones, and that's going to be what makes us different. And I'm not in competition with anybody.
No. I didn't mean that you were. I just meant that, you know, there's a lot of them, right? You know, when I say the competition is fierce, I just mean that, you know, there's a lot of films that are vying for, you know, views and to be noticed. I mean, let's be honest, right? You know, you're making a movie, you want people to watch it, you know, you're hoping, you know, the more the better, right? You know what I mean? I certainly don't mean that you're, you know, it's more like friendly competition. You know, you put yours out, you know, we all support each other, right? That's kind of what I mean. I don't mean that it's like, you know, fuck you, you piece of shit, serious guy.
I don't know, man. I've seen some things.
Well, what, on the internet, James? Seriously? A rising tide raises all ships, ladies and gentlemen.
That is very true. But no, I think that us doing what's already been done, but hasn't been done anytime recently, in regards to anything ranging from Never Hike, ranging from Jason Rising, Vengeance, Roseblood, Night of the Beast. His name was Jason. I mean, Voorhees and so many others. Dreamscape. I mean, we are nothing like any of them, and that's what's good for not only the story we want to bring, but it's good for the fans as well, because this is not about us. I mean, yeah, we're fans at heart as well, but it's about the fans, bringing them something new, something exciting, something that's new but familiar.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, at the end of the day, you went out, you wrote a script, you got people together, you raised some money, you kept it together, and you shot a movie. And you shot a movie that you're putting together, that you're getting ready to release. There's a trailer out there now. You got the post-production Indiegogo campaign up. You should be very proud of yourselves. You know, naturally, of course, because it is the, you know, it is an art form. You have no control. At the end of the day, you have no control when you release your baby to the world. Who's going to like it? Who's not going to like it? Some people will like it. Some people won't like it. That's just art. That's just art. That's just the way it is. There will be people that will agree with your creative choices. There will be people that won't agree with your creative choices. That's just art. That's just the way it is. That's taste. You know, whether somebody likes something or not is subjective. I think, yeah, in terms of the saying all film is subjective, I think, is not entirely true because it depends on what we're talking about. But certainly when we're talking about art and what you like or don't like, that's very subjective. You know what I mean? I mean, so there will be people that'll like it, there'll be people that won't like it, and you know, it's just the way it is. You know what I mean? So there's always, I'm sure there'll be some nerves when you're like, oh, here we go, we're gonna post. Oh my God, this is it, guys. We're gonna post. You know what I mean? There's always that moment, you know. But you should be very proud of yourselves. Very proud of yourselves, you know, for accomplishing something that you know, a lot of people say one day I'm gonna, we're gonna, and never do. So it's like I said, you know, should be proud of yourselves. Let's go over to the chat room and see what's some questions for Chad and James. Here comes one from Jack. Jack says, "Is James," in big capital letters, it's like I'm reading a script, "is James starring in it as well?"
I'm not.
No,
I can't act. I'm sorry.
I love that. No, I'm not.
Maybe the next one.
Maybe the next one. Frank Riker sends in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Frank, and says, "Can we have Chad put the mask back on? He's scaring us." Frank,
Sorry,
you
Frank.
scallywag. Typical Frank. Deedly dee. This is Meat Mungus Merlot. Is that how I say that? Meat Mungus. This is Steve Merlot, who's doing his own fan film at the moment, the Sawyer Massacre, of course. So, and he's just, I think he reached his goal. I think I saw that the other day. So congratulations to Steve, of course, as well. I think it's a post-production campaign as well, if I'm not mistaken. It says, "How big was your biggest daily shot list on My Special Boy?" I don't fucking know. Okay, on to the next question. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know, 7 a.m. to like 3 a.m.
Wow. It's a good thing you guys weren't union.
Yeah. we shot like 76 hours over 5 days.
I can hear SAG-AFTRA calling. No. Cool. Yeah, we had, on Billy, we had one of the things, and again, this is another piece of advice that I often give, is that, you know, you want to be so prepared. And again, listen, you're always, not every shoot is perfect. You know, you can't prepare. There's going to be problems. There are going to be things that pop up that are unforeseen, you you don't see, and all that kind of stuff. But for that reason, you want to be really prepared. So when those things do pop up, you can manage them fairly well. And it's just, you know, and you want to treat your crew and your cast with respect. You want to feed them well. You want to keep the spirits up because, you know, generally speaking, a film day shoot would be like 12 hours generally. And, but on Billy, that's what we scheduled, 12 hours. But sometimes you're going over, and you know you're going to go over, and your cast and crew are more willing to work for you, are more willing to say, "Oh yeah, no, let's do it. Like we're here, let's do it." If spirits are up, they're having a good time, they're treated well, they're fed well, they're respected, they're acknowledged, they feel included. People are willing to go, "You know what? Extra hour. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it, guys. Let's do it." You know what I mean? But the second morale is down and people are miserable and upset, and you got to say, "We need to go an extra hour." I mean, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's really important to treat your cat. I'm not saying anything you guys don't know. I'm just, you know, in general, will sometimes get asked about it. And it's one of the lessons that I learned, is that you know, and again, it doesn't mean there's not going to be problems that might pop up, but the more prepared you are, the more likely you are able to handle that kind of thing. Treat your cast and crew well, and they will want to work for you. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to want to do, you know, 24-hour days. But, you know, to go over an hour and a bit maybe or something, maybe not a big deal if they feel really good. Let me see here. By the way, let me put that link again to your campaign into the chat room. There it is. Again, guys, let me see where you guys are at. Just doing a refresh here. And ba-da-ba-da-ba-doo, we're at 83. You're at 79% now. 79. Can we get James to 80%? Can we get him to 80% before the end of the show? Maybe we will. We'll see. We'll see. There is the link right there. All right, let me scroll back here. And we've got WLJJ Movie Review says, I can never hate on a fan film because those people work their ass off to make, and sometimes the fan films end up being better than the sequels to the movies. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think fair criticism is always fair. I mean, you're making a movie, and there's a difference between hating and giving constructive criticism, right? I mean, anybody can be like, fucking shit, fucking dog shit, you fucking, noise, blah, whatever. But I think constructive criticism is fair. But I get the point that WLJJ Movies is making. Vader Voorhees says, Dave McRae and Houston guys? Houston? Does he think you guys are in Houston? They're in California. California. Anyway, says, guys, I got a question for you guys. What gave you the idea to have Jason without a jacket? Oh, that's a good question.
Was that the doc who came up with that?
I don't really like it.
You don't like the jacket?
In the reboot, yes.
Oh, well, yeah. I actually wasn't all that involved with the outfit for Jason. I just said, okay, just dress me however you want. So they came up with that.
Yeah,
cool.
Pretty much. We said, hey, let's just, no jacket though. No jacket. I mean,
I gotcha. Let me see here. Let me see. Chris Snyder. Hey, how you doing, Chris? Says, James and Chad, you guys suck. No, he doesn't say that. Being that this is your... That's right. You suck. Being that this is your part 2 and erasing everything after the original, is there any winks and nods to 2 to 4 specifically? Maybe that's something they can't say. Maybe it's under wraps. Maybe those Easter eggs, if there are any, can't say maybe. I don't know.
That's a great question. When Jason runs, 3 and 4. Second, part 2. I feel like I don't want to spoil anything.
Oh, yeah, and don't feel you have to.
Pamela's Head, part 2.
Pamela's Head, part... Now, who made that for you?
This was sculpted by Adam Ziegler and finished by my good friend Lonnie McCullum, who did the hair and who painted it up. We do offer these on the Indiegogo campaign that I will be finishing up. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm a mask maker and guy. I make masks, Michael Myers masks, and all kinds of shit.
Very cool. So depending on the perk, or there's a perk on your Indiegogo campaign where somebody can get that.
A replica, yeah.
A replica. Very cool. Very cool. See, folks?
2 years ago.
Very cool. Peter Anthony Productions Incorporated. Hello, Peter. Great to see you here. Sends in a very generous super chat of $19.99. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that. Says, congrats on the film, James. Can't wait to see your Jason story and get my 2 masks. Much love.
I own 2. He's right.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you owe him 2 masks. In other words, now he's being polite there, but translating is like, give me my fucking masks. I mean, that's basically, that's basically what he's saying. No, that's awesome. Thank you again, Peter. I really appreciate the super chat very much. Let me see. Carmo underscore 215 says, in your most humblest of humble opinions, exactly how special is your boy? Okay. I gotcha. Let me see here. Amar Alagic. Am I saying that right? Alagic. Is it a hard G, soft G? Was there anything you guys wanted to shoot that you didn't get to? Well, that's a good one. Maybe that's more reserved for after the film comes out. I'm not sure, but that's a good question.
Your cameo.
What's that?
Your cameo.
Oh, my cameo. My cameo didn't happen. No, originally we had like an 80+ page script ready to just fucking unleash on the world if we made the money. And it was going to have some really intense moments on how Jason obtained the hockey mask from Sackhead to hockey mask. And it was a very intense moment where people were getting their fucking limbs ripped off and all kinds of shit. There was a lot more of telling the story of Sean Orton and Derek Wheeler and how they were kids when Jason drowned. You know, Sean Braden plays the character of Sean. Our buddy Adrian Navarro plays the character of Derek, and we were going to have we had it written so that they were kids and they witnessed the drowning and everything. So there were a lot of really intense moments that had we made budget, it would have been 30 minutes longer than it is now, and there would have been a lot more dramatic feel to certain moments. We would have been, we would have had flashbacks back in the 50s, and we would have gotten more Pamela. We would have had the kids, Sean's character trying to save Jason by getting in touch with the camp counselors, but they're too busy having sex.
Right.
Unfortunately, Sean can't swim himself, so he couldn't save him.
There
were a lot of there even further. The ending that we came up with, mainly he did, was really intense, and it was a bloody one, and it was really just gruesome and brutal. And had we made the funds, we would have went that route, but next time. Gotcha.
Yeah, no, you got to do what you got to do, right? When we were raising funds for Billy, we had no idea if we were going to raise it. I mean, it was a Black Christmas fan film. And although Black Christmas, sorry?
Ballsy.
Yeah, for sure. And people asked, why didn't you do Halloween? I mean, you're, like the Halloween guy. Why didn't Halloween? And I said, well, because the Halloween fan film area is so saturated, and I said, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something different. And then I did Black Christmas. It's a Canadian movie shot here in Toronto. We're Canadian filmmakers from Toronto. So there was sort of a kind of a poetry about that in some ways. It kind of felt good. There was a synchronicity, I guess, to that, if that's the right word. It just felt right. And but we knew it was a big risk because it's a very niche film. It's a film that has had 2 remakes, but no sequels. I mean, it's not really a series per se. I mean, you could say the Black Christmas series, but it's just 3 of the same movies, but told, you know what I mean? There's no sequels. So, and we knew that it's not Freddy, it's not Jason, it's not Michael, so we knew we were behind the 8 ball from the very beginning. But one of the things that we had laid out, we thought, well, if we can raise, we asked for 64,000. Again, that's that's Canadian, about 45, 47 US. It's not an arbitrary number. You don't just go, I think I need this. No, you break it down, right? You actually do up a production budget based on all the logistics of pre-production and development and locations and insurance and cast and crew and catering and hotels and all that kind of stuff, right? You got to really come to a number. It's always a ballpark, but it's very close. But we had no idea. We had no idea if we were going to raise our 60,000. We ended up raising 64,000. We had no idea. So yeah, no, we too said, well, depending on how much we do raise, because we knew we'd raise something because there were people that were excited about it. We were going to take and this is what you can do as well for indie filmmakers out there who are looking to raise funds on Indiegogo. If you don't raise the whole thing, that doesn't mean it's the end and it's all over. It depends on how much you raise, of course. But you can also, we were going to take a portion of our story, like a scene or a few scenes, and shoot that. And then, we knew that we were going to be able to deliver on the production value and shoot that, and then use that to say, hey, do you want to see the rest? You know what I mean? And then hopefully use that to raise the rest of the funds. In some ways, that is kind of what we've done, because It's Me, Billy is the first part of a 2-part story. So in some sort of way, that is kind of what we've done, but that's always an option for people, is if you don't raise the whole thing, maybe you just take like a section of it. You know what I mean? Right. It can be really tough to raise, at least when you're first beginning and you don't have a proof of concept, because that's what, when Vince made, Never Hike Alone. I mean, that was his proof of concept, and that took off. And, you know, the reason why he was able to raise the money he did for Snow and for Part 2 with relative ease is because he can, you know, he's got the proof now, right? So it's always, you know, I always say to people that it can be difficult, you know, for filmmakers without that proof of concept to raise, you know, $50,000, $100,000 for a feature when you don't have anything. You know, you're like, why am I, like, you know what I mean? So it's always good to start small, to show the proof, you know, we can deliver this, look what we can do. And then people are more likely to go, okay, sure. You know what I mean? And you work your way up. So yeah, it can be tough. It can be tough. Because you said that this was originally a feature idea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Like an hour and a half, hour and 45, you know?
Yeah, it can be tough. I mean, I don't know what, I mean, again, I don't know what that all entailed, but certainly that, you know, expands your budget and expands your shooting days and all the logistics involved. So it can be pretty pricey.
But we're going to be over an hour, so I'm happy with that.
That's good. That's impressive. That's impressive, man. That's impressive. Let me see here. Any other questions? We have, is it, I'm going to butcher this. The voice actor in me is phonetically sounding this out. Antonis, is that it? Antonis Androtis?
I think it's Andriotis.
Andriotis. Antonis Andriotis? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. James says, did you film at the real Camp Crystal Lake that was used in Friday the 13th?
No, we were going to film, we wanted to film at a place called Zacco Lake, which was, I think they had pickup shots for the final chapter. And we reached out to the guy and he's like, well, Disney's offering me $7,000 a day and your $1,000 is meaningless.
He said it exactly like that?
Oh, no. He was much more professional.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say that's really mean. I would have said, yeah, and you're a fucking asshole. That's what I would have said. I would have said that to him. Just say, dude, all you have to say is, hey, listen, I can't, you know, I got this Disney thing going on. Just to say, hey, listen, Disney offered me $7,000, your $1,000s is meaningless. I'm like, yeah, so is your wife. No. No, he did say though that that's awful. That's
terrible, dude. No, he did say that Disney does offer $7,000, so $1,000 in comparison really doesn't do much.
Oh, and he's right. You know, he's right. I mean, yeah.
We were gonna have a little piece of, you know, Friday the 13th lore in our project, and unfortunately, that just didn't happen. Didn't happen.
Very cool. Well, you know what? I mean, it's tough. It is tough. Let me see here. Diddly-dee. Mike Johnson says, I'm looking forward to seeing this fan film. Braden Timmons is talented, so I'm sure his writing on this will show, is what Mike Johnston says. Chris Snyder says, that's exactly why we are doing a House of Wax fan film. It's different, no competition, and there's a good story we want to tell. Well, that's great. That's just it, right? You know, that's it, you know? Let me go back here and let's see here. So, House Sinclair, it's called?
Yes, Sinclair.
House Sinclair. And weren't you and Matt Fauci doing something while it wasn't a Pray
at Night?
Pray at Night.
Or there was Stranger Slay at Night during Christmas time?
Slay at Night. Slay at Night. Slay, S-L-A-Y. Dave, shut up. Okay, sorry. I was going to be cast in Split, but they chose the other guy. Slay. So, what? You're a busy fan film guy. You're attached to quite a few fan films here.
Yeah, well, that one I put on the back burner. My goal was this year was to kind of go back and, you know, go back to school or go and do something, you know, that's going to help build my career. And I found that My Special Boy, it kind of it halted some of those plans. Not that it's a negative or anything, but I will say that if anything, this experience has made me more focused and more driven with not only my filmmaking career, but just my career overall. And I find that I will be able to balance both.
Very cool. That's cool. That's good. Yeah, that's cool. Here's a question for you guys. What is your favorite Friday the 13th movie? James?
Final chapter.
Oh, he just said that just like that. Just like that. He didn't have to think. Final chapter. Chad?
Jason Lives.
Jason Lives. Okay, now, James, why the final chapter? Out of all the amazing quality Friday the 13th movies, why the final chapter?
The final chapter, man. Ted White is just so good. Like, he's my favorite Jason portrayal. The way he looks, the kills in it. Crispin Glover dancing, you just can't beat it.
It's fucking amazing. It's how I dance at bars when I was a teenager. The whole thing. It's great.
Final chapter is just so much fun, and it presents it's the introduction to the Jarvis character that everyone loves so much within the franchise. In little Corey Feldman's ass. And I don't know. There's something about Jason. It's like the first time we begin to actually see Jason becoming that undead kind of part of him. You know, the rest afterwards, he's just really maggoty and I don't really dig dead Jason very much, which is why you see My Special Boy. Our Jason is very much alive. Gotcha.
Okay. My favorite Friday the 13th films really are 1 through 4. I don't mind 6. You know, I understand that 6 is the fan favorite. I understand it's kind of like the Elm Street 3 of the franchise. I totally get it. But I've always been sort of a 1 through 4 guy. My favorites are Richard Brooker and Ted White as well. Steve Dash is good too, you know, and Gillette there as well. But Chad, why part 6?
Because it's a lot of fun. There's so much that Tom McLaughlin crammed into that, you know, Karloff's General Liquor Store, whatever it was, the town of Carpenter. He put some of his own his old mime buddies in it, like the guys that were playing paintball, like what's his name, Roy, running away in his big round glasses.
Yep.
The speeding sign where it had the question marks on top and bottom. I mean, there's just so much. And after the polarizing film that is A New Beginning, because some people love it, some people hate it, I don't mind it. I actually enjoy it. I'm not a big fan of Roy. That was so disappointing. But it was obviously called Jason Lives for a reason, to erase Roy and say, you know, fuck off. And and he brought that gothic horror to it, you know, like he says, getting brought back by a lightning bolt. I mean, that's like Frankenstein type shit, you know. And so he's just, you know, this unstoppable
killing machine.
Yeah, he's like an undead Terminator.
Yeah, I will say that Friday the 13th 6 has grown on me. I think I just said this actually, but I'll say it again. It has grown on me more over the years. I think I like it more now than I did maybe when I was younger. But it's funny enough, it's still not one of my favorites. I don't know why. What year was that? 86, I think it was. 86?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. I think it's not that, you know, the first 4 aren't campy and cheesy, but I think there's a self-awareness to part 6 that maybe I'm just not a big fan of. I mean, it's not like Scream or anything or some spoof, but it's kind of got that little kind of winking at the audience a fair bit throughout the movie. And I guess I just prefer the more sort of straight, as campy and cheesy as it is, the more straight kind of linear path that the first 4 films took, I think.
My Special Boy route.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Bring it back to My Special Boy. That's what we got to do. You just bring it back to My Special Boy. I would throw that link into the chat room again. There it is, folks. There it is. There is the link. Yeah, that's so now your favorite Jason is Ted White. Would your favorite Jason, Chad, be Graham, or would it be somebody else?
Actually, Graham, that might be my favorite movie, but I'm not a big fan of Graham. He did a decent job. I thought he was decent. Obviously better than, you know, I probably did, but
I don't sell yourself short, Chad. I mean,
I'm more of a Kane guy. Because the ones I saw a lot more. But then I do like Kane, Brooker, and White are my top three. Mears is an honorable mention because I thought he knocked it out of the park. Dash was good. Gillette was okay. From what we could tell was which one, they were fine. But yeah, I think Graham is my least favorite Jason.
Interesting.
Even over Ken?
Careful now, Ken's Canadian. I'm just saying.
I didn't mind Ken too much. The hair and all that kind of got me, but he wasn't too bad. He was a little bit robotic, but I mean, he was dead Jason, so I mean, I got to give him that. But
isn't he's the one from Freddy versus Jason, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just to make sure I have the right guy. So what would be your favorite kill? Your favorite Jason kill? I know it's tough. I'm putting you on the spot now.
I'm a big fan of the cryo face smash.
Ooh, and Jason X.
I was gonna say,
I really love that one. Sleeping bag kill, you can never say no.
Sleeping bag kill.
It's too bad the MPA just totally butchered that, because I think he like just continues to slam her against the tree.
A couple times.
Yeah,
like 3 times.
Yeah, but you only see it once, unfortunately. What did you think of the reboot in 2009? The remake, I guess I should say.
I like it. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I think Derek Mears was a very good Jason. I think he was a scary ass Jason, and he was my favorite Jason since Ted White.
Interesting. Would you prefer, in regards to Friday the 13th, obviously the lawsuit has been resolved, I guess, I'll put that in quotes, but obviously who owns what is separated, so you could make this Friday the 13th movie, or you could make this Friday the 13th movie. You could have this Jason, but you can't have that Jason. You can call it this, but you can't call it that. Would you prefer that they start again, or would you prefer that there was a sequel to the 2009 remake?
I think too much time has passed for them to actually be able to make a proper sequel to that movie. What has it been, 13 years?
Yes. And probably, 14 or 15, 16, at least by the time something else were to come out?
Yeah, exactly. I think too much time has passed. I think Derek Mears can still play the character. I just don't see that happening. So reboot it just from the beginning, man. Like, I don't know how I feel necessarily about Pamela being like the main focal point of the film, but more Pamela doesn't make me upset.
Interesting. What about you, Chad?
I agree. Unfortunately, I think too much time has passed. I would love to see a sequel to that. I would love to see, even if it's not a sequel and it's another reboot, give it to Derek. I'd love to see Derek again. Why not? I thought he did a great job. A lot of people didn't necessarily like the fact that he was living underground and had a little tunnel system and was basically almost like a hunter, like a reclusive survivalist hunter, whatever. But a lot of people didn't like that. But it's like, well, he had to be. I mean, if he's living, in a shack in the middle of the woods with a sack head and overalls on, why couldn't he?
Right.
So I liked it. I enjoyed it. I would like to see a sequel, but I would have given it till like 2015. And since that has come and gone, unfortunately, just reboot it. But I would keep Derek around.
Very cool. DM Owen sends in a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, DM. Says, what is your favorite look of Jason? That's a good question.
The New Blood. They're similar.
Honestly, I would say New Blood. Yeah, 7.
Yeah, that's a good look. That is a good look. I'm not a big fan of the movie. I think when you start to get into the telekinesis kind of shit, and it's just, I'm just like, yeah. But hey, Weekend at Bernie's, love it.
It's gotta fit the franchise.
That's right. But Hodder's look, yeah, I think he looks great. I love that you can see his rib cage and all that kind of stuff. I love when his mask splits and it's just his face. He's like, he kind of has that look on his face. He does. He's like, it's like, The hell's it's monster? It's incredible. So you both like the look of Part 7. I got to go classic, and I got to say 3 or 4. It's just classic.
Four is up there. 4 is up there because I love how his nails are all dark and they're long and they're gross. He just looks really. I don't know. I don't. There's something about his nails that get me just excited.
Yes, exactly. Well, listen, we're approaching 90 minutes here. Is there any last things that you guys want to say in regards to My Special Boy or, the project? Any last things you want people to know about the project? There is still roughly 6 days left in James's post-production Indiegogo campaign. They are knocking on 80% funded. Let me just hit a refresh here. They are, still at 79%. They were at 77 when we went live. So you've upped 2% here, which is great. So let's see if we can get James over 80 and maybe start looking towards 85. 6 days left to go. If you're a big Friday the 13th fan and you want to see Sackhead Jason back, if you want to see, check out the trailer as well. If you just go to, it's on the Indiegogo campaign, right?
Yeah.
It is. Okay, so it's all there. So if you just go to the Indiegogo campaign, the trailer is there, the teaser's there, photographs are there, the perks are there, what you get with it and all that kind of stuff. Check them out for sure. Let me just put that link back into the chat room here. There it is there. Yeah, guys, any last things you want to say in regards to My Special Boy?
If you don't donate, just share. Sharing helps a lot. You don't have to donate, and we're not asking, we don't say anyone has to donate, but if you could share it, that would be very much appreciated and very helpful. So yeah, just share.
I agree 100%. Sharing goes a long way for sure.
Yeah, I want to say big thank you to the cast and crew for being on this 2.5-year long journey and being very patient with us and allowing time to progress. And a majority, if not all, didn't care how long it took. Let's make a fucking movie, and you have me all day. And that's the kind of heart that I love, the people I want to work with. And, I have every intention to work with a majority of, if not all of them in the future, as long as they're willing. And they seem very willing. So I'm going to keep that. Big thank you to you, Dave, for having us on here. I met you back in 2018 in person at the Halloween convention, and that was a really fun, time and everything. So
I remember that specifically. We were, I walked into, it was like you were getting coffee or something, I think.
Yeah.
You were getting coffee, and I walked in, and you were there, and what the hell was that? A Starbucks or something? Or
Starbucks, yeah.
It was a Starbucks. Okay, so I do remember that. Yep, Pasadena Convention Center in Pasadena for the 40th anniversary convention Halloween. Yeah, that was cool. And no problem at all, guys. I'm sorry it took so long to get you guys on and to get this going, but things have just been so swamped for me but better late than never. And, we're getting it sort of, we're in the third act of this post-production campaign and hopefully, this show will, at least nudge you guys up a little bit at the very least. It's my pleasure. I like, I like what you guys are doing and I think it's, it's great to see the passion that you have for the property and for the film. And I wish you guys the best of luck with it. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you very much. October 28th is the day. So
October 28th.
Yep.
Halloween weekend.
Halloween weekend, October the 28th. Okay, stick around. Don't go anywhere because we'll have more of a formal goodbye after. But that is going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to the few super chats that came in. I really appreciate it. Thank you, of course, to my moderators, Frank Riker, Tab the Short, Darren Sands, Chris Baber, for doing what you guys do. I really appreciate that as well. And, of course, to some of the non-super chat questions that were there as well. That is going to do it for myself and Chad and James. Oh, and by the way, where can these... I should have said this. I'm not used to doing this. Where can people find you on social media? Because you guys are on, unless you guys don't want to be found. I totally understand that. Where can they find you?
Instagram, Facebook. If you're talking about personal stuff, Instagram, My Special Boy Movie. We have Facebook pages for My Special Boy as well. Personal page, you can find me on Instagram at Mr. Grimm89 or Facebook at The Real James Grimm.
Very cool. And Chad, or do you just not want to be found? I totally get it.
I don't remember my handles. It's Chud KC, I think. Chud X. I don't know. I have too many passwords, too many names.
I got you.
I'm on there. I'm usually connected with the My Special Boy Instagram, so I'm not that far from it. So.
I got you. Totally understandable. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us. Have a great rest of your Wednesday night. And in the meantime, and if you want to follow me on social media, there are my links there, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. All the links are in the description. Check them out until your heart's content. And when your heart is content, check them out again. All righty, I will talk to you soon. Cheers.